Good morning. I'm Professor Tom Keaney, and second you'll hear from Professor Tom Mahnken. This is the first stop in the Cold Harbor, Petersburg campaign. That is the start of the Overland campaign in 1864. From now on the staff ride, we will be in the moment. Today is May 31st, 1864. We are at the Cold Harbor battlefield that I'll explain in a minute. This is a north and south orientation where the Confederates are in my place right now. If you look beyond me, you can see the trenches. We're about 15 miles, a little bit to the northeast of Richmond. So we're very close to the capital of the Confederacy, which is one of the Union's point that they'd like to take. The month of May of 1864 has been the heaviest casualties of the war that started 3 years ago. This is the point that is now going to be crucial for the Confederacy winning. Cold Harbor is a key crossroads just to the south of here. That's why this battle is important. Across the field, about 200 yards, are the Union forces that just arrived. Looking at specifically where you are, if you take out your map of the Cold Harbor battlefield, if you look at where the H in Hoke is, that's exactly where we're standing right now. The battle will take place starting this afternoon and then going on today, and this will be a key point in the battle.
I'm Professor Tom Mahnken, and yesterday I brought you up to this point in the Overland campaign. We're going to carry that action forward today. We're in the middle of a line that extends for 5 miles. Behind me are 2 Union Corps to the north and another 2 Union Corps to the south. Here on the Confederate lines, we have Robert E. Lee and 3 Confederate Corps. Now, to hear a little bit more about the battle, we're going to hear from the 2 commanders, Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee. It's now June the 1st. We've moved just a couple of hundred yards to the east from where we were before. We're looking out on the Confederate trenches. Union forces are in front of me here in the tree line, operating without trenches because they've just arrived on the battle. This is the scene of some of the bloodiest fighting at Cold Harbor, with Union forces attacking in this direction and faced by entrenched Confederate forces behind me.
On this battlefield, imagine, if you will, the scene on the 1st of June after the attack took place. That is, this panorama here that looks very much the same as it did in 1864. This opening here, how the terrain slopes, and it sort of focuses the forces right down in this direction here towards the Confederate lines. So the Union lines are coming from this tree line here, moving across here, down this slope towards the Confederate lines, deeply entrenched. These folks are moving in the open to artillery fire and everything else. And as I said, this is a good part of General Baldy Smith's force that you're going to hear soon at the next stop. But basically, after the battle is over, the Union forces and Confederate forces are basically going to stay in this position for several days, with a number of wounded and dying soldiers out in the middle of this field. It is now June 3rd. This is the last part of the battle. We've moved from the last position about a mile south, but our orientation is still the same. That is, this is a north-south orientation. The Union forces are in a tree line off to the east. The Confederates just behind us to the west. If you look at your map, you'll see the Union and Confederate lines. If you find General Neal's division, that is the exact place where this attack is taking place. The attack will start out of the east, Union forces again moving out of the tree line and then moving off to the west where you have the Confederate revetments all set once again.
The time again is June 3rd, so the murderous attacks at Cold Harbor have gone on for several days now. The Union attack out of the tree line there is going to be led by Colonel Emory Upton. Upton is part of a rising generation of Union leaders who've been propelled to leadership because of casualties among Union leaders, but also because of their competence. And Upton's troops are going to be using some innovative tactics for this attack. But to tell us more about that, we're going to hear from Colonel Upton himself.